With the ever-evolving conversation about whether President Joe Biden should step aside and what the best path is forward to beat Donald Trump in November, I am here to remind everybody that we need to keep our eye on the ball. My name is Brittany Page from The Page Perspective right here on YouTube. I'm guest hosting for Jesse today and probably for the next couple of days while he attends to a personal emergency. His friend is sick, and I gave the details about that in a video that I recorded and posted previous to this one. So if you are interested in that or you missed it, please go and check that out and keep the positive vibes coming. I appreciate you being here and supporting the channel in Jesse's absence. So there's a lot of uncertainty right now. The polls aren't as strong as we would like them to be post-debate performance from President Joe Biden. There are donors that are making threats that they're going to withhold their money if Joe Biden does not step aside. We are seeing that a lot of people think that they haven't seen from Joe Biden what they needed to see after his debate performance in order to believe and feel confident that he can take on Donald Trump. And then there are some people that are saying, hey, I'm still totally confident in President Joe Biden's abilities, and I want to hear from you in which camp you fall into. But I would also say here that I've been seeing a lot of infighting within Democrats. I've been seeing a lot of hostile comments in the comment sections, including on Jesse's videos about these issues. And I would just remind everybody that we're in this together. We need to stick together with the goal of beating Donald Trump. We all want that. And there is a conversation currently happening about the best path forward to do that. But it's important to remember that that's the goal, beating Donald Trump, because there's a lot at stake. And if Donald Trump wins this election, we will see a shift in this country like we've never seen before. And I'm going to be playing a clip because this point was made clear by the Heritage Foundation president, Kevin Roberts, this week. He made an appearance on Real America's Voice, a far-right channel where Steve Bannon hosts his war room. And I guess he's getting ready to have guest host fill in for him as well because he's going to prison. The Heritage Foundation, of course, is one of the conservative organizations behind Project 2025, which I'm sure you've been hearing more about recently because John Oliver just did a video about it and it's getting a lot more attention. You may be aware of some of the bullet points that are involved with Project 2025. Jesse and I actually wrote a video and that came out a few months ago. It's on his channel. I would recommend that you watch it. But you know, there's going to be a mass replacement that they have planned of civil servants. They're going to appoint Trump loyalists to ensure that his policy priorities are implemented without any kind of pushback. They are going to remove access to the abortion pill, mifepristone, restricting abortion, contraception, restricting LGBTQ rights, a complete rollback of all progress on climate change policies, including dismantling EPA renewable energy programs, eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating Head Start. I mean, there's so many things involved with Project 2025. It's bad, it's very bad, it's scary, but conservatives are pushing ahead, knowing that Donald Trump is the answer for how to create this government that's going to make life harder for poor and working people, for ethnic and racial minorities, for the LGBTQ community. And you don't have to take my word for it because Heritage Foundation President Kevin Roberts is going to tell you himself where his head's at. So in this clip, you're going to hear two conservative activists just beaming with excitement over the powers that were just granted to the president by way of the Supreme Court with the presidential immunity ruling. And how it perfectly falls into what their plans are for this country with Project 2025, including a direct threat to the left. Watch this.
And so on these most critical times and critical issues concerning the Constitution, there is no one better in this world. There's no better man, a Christian friend for time, someone who's a fierce follower of the Constitution. It's our honor to welcome Kevin Roberts to the show. And Kevin, if you just want to freewheel it and respond to those clips and tell folks what the Heritage Foundation is doing to protect the rule of law and to protect individuals in this great country. Pleasure to have you on.
Well, Professor, my great friend, thanks for filling in and doing a great job. Three things. Number one, in spite of all this nonsense from the left, we are going to win. We're in the process of taking this country back. No one in the audience should be despairing. No one should be discouraged. We ought to be really encouraged by what happened yesterday. And in spite of all of the injustice, which, of course, friends and audience of this show, of our friend Steve know, we are going to prevail. Number two, to the point of the clips and of course, your preview of the fact that I am an early American historian and love the Constitution, that Supreme Court ruling yesterday on immunity is vital. And it's vital for a lot of reasons, but I would go to Federalist number 70 if people in the audience are looking for something to read over Independence Day weekend, in addition to rereading the Declaration of Independence. Read Hamilton's number 70, because there, along with some other essays, he talks about the importance of a vigorous executive. You know, former congressman, the importance of Congress doing its job, but we also know the importance of the executive being able to do his job. And can you imagine, Dave Bratt, any president, put politics off to the side, any president having to second guess, triple guess every decision they're making in their official capacity? You couldn't have the republic that you just described. But number three, let me speak about the radical left. You and I have both been parts of faculties and faculty senates and understand that the left has taken over our institutions. The reason that they are apoplectic right now, the reason that so many anchors on MSNBC, for example, are losing their minds daily is because our side is winning. And so I come full circle in this response and just want to encourage you with some substance that we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be.
Right on. Thank you, brother.
In the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. A very direct threat of violence. If the left rolls over and allows it, he's saying. If the left spends its time attacking each other rather than the direct threat that is Donald Trump, if the left wastes time trapped in partisan traps, fails to think outside the box about what is most important in this election and what is the best pathway forward to beating Donald Trump. With 122 days left in this election, we are out of time. We don't have time. We need to completely focus on this goal, this singular goal of how we're going to defeat Donald Trump and prevent people like Kevin Roberts from having power and implementing his vision for the country. The headlines right now are dominated by concerns over Joe Biden's cognition rather than the impending authoritarian takeover by Donald Trump and his minions like Kevin Roberts. And that's the problem. I would advise everyone watching this to reject commentary from anyone who tells you that the answer here is simple, that this choice is the easy one, that this pathway forward is the right one, is the easy one. There's a lot of unknowns right now, and right now is the time to be open to possibilities about what is best when it comes to defeating Donald Trump, because that's what needs to happen. And I would recommend that everyone, like I said at the top of this video, keep your eye on the ball and keep pushing forward with 122 days left in the election. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave a voicemail, 714-576-4054, or you can send an email to daily@dollemore.com. You can also support the work here on this channel by becoming a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can head on over to Patreon at patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and give your support over there. Like I've been talking about, we are currently going through a personal crisis with Jesse's close friend and brother in a medical emergency, which required him to fly back to Scotland to be with him. And in the midst of that personal crisis, I am going to be here talking about the national crisis that we're in and going through the headlines. So I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you joining me. And you know, like Jesse would say, be genuine and take care of one another.